This is Dan Starkey, alias Commander Strex. Please watch the hashtag show or prepare to be obliterated, human scum!
People jumped into this, absolutely loved it. I know Rose is a favorite companion of a lot of Movians.
Yeah. So, with that being the case, I mean, a lot of people can be sensitive when it comes to Rose.
Yes.
But there are Rose bashers. There are a lot of people that, will just poop on her. I'm not here to do that. I may say that I may not like her, or I may not like some actions that she does, but doesn't mean that I just hate the character all out. But, yeah, that is a question of why. Why do I not like Rose? For me, it's... Ooh.
And we're going to jump into that. So, the episode starts off very interesting. We get to see a little bit of her life. We see that she works in a department store, which is great. She gets up, she goes, she lives with her mom, Jackie. And, she has a boyfriend, Mickey, which we find out. And they seem to have a really good relationship on her lunch hour. They make out a little bit, eat some lunch, be by the fountain. And it's romantic. And it does give me the first impression of Rose. I quite like her. I feel like immediately she's an everyday girl. She has a job. She's not a layabout. She's not super rich. She's just an average girl. It could be anybody. Yeah. And I like that about her. Yeah. But along the lines, it's a little bit...
My thing is, okay, so Mickey, what was her relationship with Mickey fully? Was she in a relationship?
Girlfriend, boyfriend. This is my boyfriend, Mickey.
Because, I don't know.
But so eager to grab the doctor's hands and to kind of jump in on him. And she seems a little frivolous with her relationship with Mickey. And I feel like a lot of that could come from her mother, Jackie. And I don't want Rose and her relationship with Mickey. And they are a couple. And it does seem like, they support each other. But at the same time, she's also incredibly dismissive of him. When the explosion happens, and he's like, I've been trying to call your cell. Why don't you pick up? Why aren't you talking to me? I see it all over the news, and I am concerned about you. She's like, I'm alive, aren't I? It doesn't matter. Stop bothering me. I want to have some tea.
I do not like her all during this moment. I really was... She's a mean girl.
But she's then Mickey, too, where she already knew. It's like, hey... Because Mickey's like, hey, let's go get a stronger drink. You need more than tea. And she's like, you just want to go watch sports team. I don't know what she said, but some kind of sports match.
You want to watch the match. And he's like, no, I mean...
But he did. And I was like, this is not a great relationship where, your girlfriend almost died and you couldn't contact her for X amount of time and you were concerned that you go over to her house to check on her, but you still want to see the sports match. And I don't find this to be a very loving... great relationship. It is interesting that I thought the first introduction of the doctor that we see with Rose after these mannequins come and attack her, they hold hands and tells her to run. And this will come up multiple times in the episodes where they will grab hands and hold hands and go on these adventures together. And it does create this kind of expectations that they might have a relationship in the future. And if you watch in future seasons, this actually does come into play, which I think is a little bit odd. And I don't know if I'm necessarily 100% comfortable with it because the doctor does change his face, changes his personality, and he is also not really the most reliable person in the universe.
Very true.
Because he is a madman in a box.
Well, and the only reason they say he's a madman. But with that, I get that we have a doctor that definitely changes. And with that, her connection as far as the love interest part can be kind of weird because the doctor was at one time understood to be asexual.
Which I think is fine, but with the 1996 movie, we realize that he does engage in some relationships, and I think it is fine to change and to evolve and do all this, but I don't feel like this is necessarily organic, and I don't like the fact that Rose was in a committed relationship with Mickey and easily dismissed him by the end of the episode. We see them very
at the very beginning,
and they kiss a lot. Every time they leave, it's like, hey, remember, give me a kiss goodbye, pretty much, and I love you. And at the moment this doctor comes, is like, hey, do you want to come join me? She was like, no, I got to take care of this sad sap Mickey. But he's like, do you know we also get to travel through time? And she was like,
also,
yo, peace out, Mickey.
But also,
that's
that's kind of my
Yeah,
thing.
because we
It
talked
was so
about the
great.
companion Rose and how like the companions do change over time. I do feel like Rose is one of the weaker characters where like her sense of maybe ethics and morality doesn't seem to be very strong with her yet, but she also seems very young. Like when you look at her room, it's pink, it's cluttered, it looks like almost like a high schooler's room, but you know, she has a job, she's not in school, so she's obviously older than 18.
Definitely.
She's done, with her schooling pretty much. And I want to ask you this, how old do you think Rose is?
I don't know, because the thing is, the way Rose reacts and the way she is with Mickey and everything like that, sometimes it kind of feels like, okay, she may be a little bit older, out of high school.
Yeah, like it kind of takes
she
care
could have
of
gone
him
to
and
like
has
she's
a
out
job.
of, like she's out of high school and she should be going to college, but I don't have that much money. Forget it. I'm not gonna go to university. I'm just gonna live. And
but
it's
her
like
room
that's
is
what it feels
so
like.
messy, and I don't know.
But it feels more like almost she's her mom's roommate, which we do get that idea when her mom says, I'm not paying your half, or blah, blah, blah. So now she's her mom's roommate. That actually brings her up as far as age for me. So now I'm looking at her like, yo, it's post-college. I mean, it's post-high school. Could be in college, but chooses not to be. And then you see Mick, and with Mick, he just seems to bring her down in age because he doesn't seem up there. In just so many ways he doesn't. So they're just two, I don't know, weird millennials. Flattered by that guy. Everyone else is nothing.
Well, I don't want to defend Rose or anything, but if I was in her position and you've met this intriguing alien who can travel through time and space and seems to know a lot about things that you never even believed existed, that is incredibly appealing.
Definitely.
Like the sense of adventure, and especially being as young as she is, to want to explore more, to see more, to do more, because her life is pretty mundane. She has jobs, she lives with her mom, she has a steady boyfriend, and that sense of adventure, and I think that's what captures everybody. And when she first walks into the TARDIS and you see this gorgeous, beautiful, big room inside of this tiny little, phone box, police box, like I still had that sense of wonder, that sense of joy and like intrigue where I'm like, yes, I think this is why I like the show. Even though I do not like Rose, it is enough to make me want to continue with this series.
It's the whole time, and that's where it's like I appreciate this rewatch.
And I think that led to a lot of future writers giving more thought into the companions, because the companions is the audience like kind of gateway into this world. We project ourselves a lot onto the companions. We want to be that person who gets to go with the Doctor on all of these adventures. So I feel like this is a decent starting point. I don't necessarily love her, but I don't really hate her, but the writing gets so much better. And you can see it was also really horrifying that he gets eaten by this trash can and he becomes a plastic version of himself.
Yes.
And I want to say bad on Rose, and I hate to keep bashing on her.
Thank you.
Did you not notice that he was like really shiny and acting incredibly weird?
Hey, my boyfriend is now really shiny and weird to the touch. You had to notice it. And all of a sudden, he has Drake's hairline. There's something wrong. All right?
And the way he's talking, and they go through the drive together, they're eating a meal together, and she still doesn't notice. And even when the Doctor is coming around with champagne, I feel like she is incredibly, she has like blinders on her to certain things, and that also is another reason why I don't necessarily like her. But my hope in this was that the Doctor would open her eyes, expose her to new things, and she would grow to be a better, more well-rounded, conscientious person. I don't think that's what happened, but that's what I was hoping when I originally watched this episode. I was like, okay, we're going to see her grow and develop because of the Doctor and his knowledge and what he imposes on her and how she's going to broaden her viewpoint about everything.
Yes. And thank God. It's like at least someone was able to do it. Because later she does grow as a character and still... It was at the last moment and it wasn't good enough.